Hello YouTube, welcome back to Warwick Road. This is an update I should have done in September, but with work, weather, some flu, just didn't get time to get around to it. So this is literally going to be an update of what I've been up to for the last couple of months. So to start off, what I've been doing over the last couple of months is scenery. So the whole left hand side of the layout was blank, just the beam, so I decided to smarten it up because it looked a bit neglected compared to the rest of the layout, so started to do some work on that just to it look more interesting. So you can see above the station there, a little bit overgrown. Again, although it's a town scene, didn't want it all buildings, brick and everything. Wanted some variety there, so literally like a small wood with obviously some growth overhanging and going down towards the platform. It's not finished yet. I've got a lot more bushes and small seafoam trees I want to put in there, and certainly some browns in there as well, because obviously a lot of grass in there when it's covered with bushes and trees. So yeah, this is all still work in progress. So what I'd also done is I had this centerpiece here. Before I've had all kinds of things on there. I've had a signal box on there, I've had a electricity substation on there, then I filled it with electricity substation and a load of trees, and it just didn't look right. So what I've done now is just take it back to baseboards, used a mod rock, sculpted just a little bit of rough ground and static grass, the Javelin, the brown chippings, where before it was all green, but now it's going to have different shades, greens and browns, where grass doesn't grow underneath big trees because it doesn't get any rain or light. So again, work in practice because I've run out of seafoam trees, so I've got to get some more seafoam trees. In the background, another building. It's three joined together, and these are from scale model scenery, low relief factory. So I've put three together, again something different, just to break it up from the wooded section. So I've just made a little scene there, and because it's got doors on the outside, I'll put some railings there, because obviously as they're fire escapes it would look pretty silly if people just walk straight onto the railway line. So again, work in practice. So the scene behind the platform, these buildings and some other buildings I'm just about to show you, are not glued in place yet, still working on them. Got to weather them, then obviously cover them with some matte varnish just to protect them from the winter. Although the roof has been done, I still want to make sure that they're as moisture proof as possible, so when I get back to the spring I don't want to see them with streaks all in them or they've warped. So the next building in the scene is a scale model scenery office kit. This is two that have been put together, just again something different from a factory to an office. Could actually be the office for the factory. Don't know, I haven't thought in that much detail, but obviously low relief. There wasn't, for the size of the gap between the railway and the beam, there weren't many kits out there that suited what I was looking for. So these two from scale model scenery, 5 kits in all, were good, but again I didn't want to fill the whole scene up with scale model scenery items. So I decided to have a go at some scratch building. So I'm looking at a multi-storey car park, So not sure about this yet, still a lot of work to do on it, but because the base is there, if I don't like it, I can put on a different front to it. It could be another warehouse, could be another office block. I've just got to take the car park layer fronts off. So that's kind of why I did it like that. On a modular building, I can change the front. But what I've been doing recently is starting to scratch build stuff. And after a few days looking at it, don't like it, throw it away. I've got loads of projects. I've just put a whole load of stuff in a sack and got rid of it because I'd never really finished it. So I'm going to persevere with these now because I'm spending so much time doing them. But I don't finish them, so I need to finish them and see how they look. And with weathering and all the other things you can do, bits and pieces you can add onto it, I'm sure I can improve the look. So to the left, carrying on my scratch building theme, I watched a DVD on YouTube, a guy that he drives Class 66, and he takes obviously footage when he's driving. And what I noticed when he was in London, that a lot of apartment blocks are coming up very close to the railway, so this apartment block doesn't look out of place, because actually in real life they are right up close to railway lines. So this one looking at now was the first one to be built, but where I was going to put the windows and the front on it, I changed my mind because it was very, very, very tricky, and bearing in mind the size of it, it would have taken months to finish it off. And because there were so many different bits, the variation was massive, so it looked odd even with the first two panels done, because there was so much variation. Everything's cut with a knife and a cutting mat, so I've changed it. So I've changed it to this. So that's what it will look like when it's finished. This is about a third of the way finished. So it's just an apartment block, so just apartment block, just not, because it's low relief, not everything being low relief, so you can see there's a slight angle, and almost like a balcony, enclosed balcony, that makes sense, enclosed balcony, just again for a bit of variation. I think it shows better, that's it, it shows better there. Just a bit of variety. Still to decide what to put above here, not sure yet. A building of some sort, but what sort of building I don't know. So the other thing I've done is I have weathered the rails, which was a very laborious task, and subsequently, because I've done so much of it, I also had to spend ages today cleaning track to get the trains to run. So I've got, this is the last bit to be ballasted. And as you can see, I've started ballasting here, and in the middle there I've just got some old discarded rails, a few discarded sleepers, and some of the aggregate bags. I think they were Goodwood Scenics ones there, and just some old rail that I've got. I think I used MIG paints, just painted them up so it looks like they've relaid the track here with the brand new ballast and not taken up all of the rails when they clear up. So this is my Javelin. This is the 6-car set that came out a couple of years ago. This is probably the first time it's run in ages. I think it possibly dirty wheels because every once in a while it keeps stopping. so I think I need to clean them up and give it a good run on the rolling road. Quite like it. Obviously not a sight you would generally see a GWR HST and a Javelin at the same station, but the licence and model railway, we can do what we want. So if I pan round to the right, you can see my container yard. So this is the main station. This is all scale scenes. So that's the scale scene footbridge I've doubled up and cut and chopped about to cover over the 3 platforms, plus obviously the main station platforms these days, as this is modern image, have lift shaft for anybody that doesn't want to or can't use stairs. So I've modelled that, and where you can see the grey roof there, that will fit onto the scale scenes modern medium station, which is built, and I have a board that will sit across the top of the retaining wall, and I also got to build some supports on the platforms, and that will start another town scene. So everything up to there will be a town scene. So I've got some shops, I've got a bus depot again, I think it was the Scale Scenes bus depot, that will go right at the back. Usual things, taxi rank, shops. I've got a small pub, I've got a really nice pub that I want to put back on there. So that's obviously again work in progress. I'm not sure when I'll get to this. What I've got to do with this is, because it is paper and cards, is get some matte varnish just to protect it in the winter. Although the roof's been done and I've now got the proper membrane, it won't get damp. It's just to protect it when it gets really cold. And then fix it all down, because it's not fixed at the moment. So I've got a little hut there, I've got the ramp, wheelchair ramps, I've got a few other bits of scale model scenery, like the little the points where you can call for assistance, information points. So that's all in there. So literally got to ballast, weather the track, catch pits, cable trunkings, all got to go in there. So I've made this yard. This is the second time I've put the yard here. The first time I tried to do it with card, and quite frankly the outcome was terrible. I glued the card down, and then when I started to weather it and all kinds of, it just looked awful. So I ripped it all up and I've used just plaster. And I'm really happy with the outcome. Got some sanding down to do still, just to finish it off. So there's another shot. So I've got to weather the concrete. Obviously, because it was a very thin film of plaster, I've got some cracks, which obviously I'm happy with, because you would get cracks in a concrete base like this with all the wear. Obviously got to weather it, because using this crane, obviously tight turning circles, there would be lots of rubber marks. I've managed, I don't know how clearly that shows up, to get an operator into the crane there. And then just coming round to the entrance, that's my shed ring kit. Just some barriers, and a little office. The office has got a guy in it at his desk, and there I'm just going to put some gates up so it's gated. So just coming out of the tunnels, my Dapol 68 with some of the J&A ballast wagons. So 4 of these wagons, the lighter coloured loads, I've decided to have a go at doing my own loads, and the other 5 are eBay loads, resin loads, so I'm just having a go at that. But this train is the first set of wagons that I've fully weathered myself. Whilst I've got an airbrush, I haven't been brave enough to use it on these wagons yet, so this is just brushing like a black brown across them, and then using thinners, acrylic thinners with a cloth, and then just wiping off excess paint from areas. So quite happy. Obviously it's going to take me a while to get hold of the get used to weathering. I don't want it too heavy because I've done that before, and it looks ridiculous when you then look at pictures in real life to see that wagons, whilst they look a bit grubby, are not as bad as the ones I've had before. So I'm taking it slowly with these, and I'll just leave it here for now. Probably a bit more weathering on the bogies, maybe a bit of graffiti on a couple. Looking at the internet with some of the video footage on there, a lot of the wagons these days seem to have been attacked by graffiti artists. But that's for another day. But quite happy with those so far. All of my wagons are either Dapol or Bachmann. Hornby range for modern image isn't great, only the KFAs. And for the price of a new KFA wagon, I was able to pick up a used Dapol spine wagon. So for me, always was going to go for the spine wagons. They're really nice wagons, and these Dapol ones are really nice. Lots of detail. I've got 9, plus I think it's called an MQA. So that's enough for now. Well, that's enough, I don't need any more. But that's just the weathering project I did a couple of days outside the garden when it was too hot to do anything up here. So this isn't a new scene, but I've changed the figure. Where I just found a figure from a load of figures I'd got and painted in with a UPS, this is actually a delivery driver. So he's got a little scanner on his shoulder, carrying something in his arm, so it looked better, and the other guy was a bit smaller, so this one actually fits better with this scene. The lady there, so the lady there, and the guy to her right, and the guy carrying with his headphones on, carrying a rucksack and one of the coffee cups in his hand. So yeah, put more people in there. CCTV camera, and also this is a station. You've got McDonald's, got a little kiosk there, got plenty of rubbish, bits of litter that have been left lying around, where people, after they've eaten something, just chuck it down. Changed the McDonald's scene slightly as well, because before I had the cars actually parked there, but I've actually got them now just driving in to the McDonald's, and a little delivery area for my McDonald's Arctic just on the corner there. So another addition is this Jaguar I-Pace. Because it's a Jaguar Land Rover dealership, I decided to put one of those in there. It just finishes it off quite nicely with the Range Rover and the Jaguar there, so there's almost the whole range there. And then I bought this, the new Land Rover Defender. These are quite difficult to get hold of on the internet for a reasonable price. I managed to get these off of Hattons, but the long wheelbase ones at Hattons were sold out on pre-order. But what I've also done, which I've seen, for real at a garage is because obviously the Land Rover Defender is well known for its off-road abilities. They have parked a brand new one on a load of slate and rocks and stuff like that to show off its prowess, so I thought I'd do the same. Had some coarse ballast, so I've sort of done the same thing there, so it just sets it off nicely with the transporter in the back. So this is another little scene. I think I may have shown in an earlier video, but it didn't come out very clearly. Just literally got a couple of ramps from Goodwood Scenics. The guy under there mechanic fixing somebody's Mercedes A-Class and a little scratch built toolkit, and I managed to fashion an open door on the back of the Transit Connect. One of the other things I want to do with this bit here is seafoam trees, a few, between the fence and the railway line, so when I look from where I normally sit and operate the trains, this row of shops here is partially obscured by the seafoam trees. So again, like I said earlier, I'm short of seafoam trees, so I've got to get some more. So this is the I think it's called an MQA wagon, EWS. I'm looking on the internet, I've seen that they run with the J&As with the EWS logo blanked out and are pretty grubby because of their age, so again that's what I've done with this one. Made it look pretty grubby, but obviously a lot more work to do. So going forward, a project I have to do is sort out this loco shed. It's built. I was going to scrap this and get the Gauge Master modern traction depot, I think it's called, but when I measured it out, I needed two kits because of the Class 66, and it will actually have dominated the scene. So the houses, it's a fair bit taller than this one, so it kind of would have dominated this part of the layout, which I don't want. I just want a small little facility that would take in a couple of locos, refuel locos. There's no scrappers going to be sitting outside, nothing like that. It's 4 tracks, it may go down to 3. I may take this third one, the bottom one out where the coach is, and just have a small facility, a few cars for the workers, and leave it at that, because it's not a TMD layout, it is a big layout with a little area to service locos on. So just going to sign off by saying thank you everyone for taking the time to watch the video. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you can see what I'm trying to do. Any comments, please put them in the comments section below. Thank you again to all the subscribers for supporting me. Really kind comments I get. If you send me a comment, I will answer them all. Really appreciate everybody's support. I hope you enjoy the layout as much as I enjoy building it. Obviously when I get more into it, I want to run more trains and maybe have like a decent running session and show you more of the trains I have in my collection. But until then, happy modding everybody, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching Warwick Road. Thank you, goodbye.